MC3 in the real world. 6. Corporate, office teams. Where hierarchy, urgency, cultural diversity, and organizational history converge, communication rarely behaves as expected. Corporate environments often present themselves as orderly systems, defined roles, clear reporting lines, documented processes, but beneath that surface structure lies a far more complex emotional and cultural ecosystem. Every interaction is shaped not only by what is said, but by who is speaking, who is listening, what pressures are present, and which unspoken rules govern behavior. Office teams bring together people with different cultural norms, communication instincts, cognitive styles, emotional habits, and linguistic capacities. These differences do not disappear inside a shared organizational chart. Instead, they interact continuously with organizational culture, the unwritten expectations disagreement around decision-making, speed, formality, accountability, and visibility. In practice, this culture exerts more influence over communication than any individual personality. In corporate settings, miscommunication rarely remains contained. A single misunderstood sentence can ripple outward, subtly reshaping a meeting, influencing a decision, altering a project trajectory, and eventually affecting relationships that will surface again in future conversations. Corporate communication accumulates. Every exchange becomes part of the organization's memory, feeding back into how meaning is interpreted next time. This is where MC3 becomes indispensable. Corporate communication is not simply multilingual, it is layered. Messages travel across departments, across hierarchies, across cultures, across time zones, and across emotional climates. Each transition subtly reshapes meaning. A statement that feels clear in one context can take on an entirely different implication when interpreted elsewhere. Consider a team leader who says, "We should explore other options." In a direct communication culture, this may be heard as a clear signal to abandon the current plan. In a more indirect culture, it may function as a gentle invitation to reconsider without creating embarrassment. In hierarchical environments, junior staff may interpret it as a cue to withdraw their ideas, while in egalitarian teams it may spark open brainstorming. In multilingual settings, the modal verb should may register as mild or optional, and explore may sound non-committal. What appears to be a single sentence fragments into multiple meanings the moment it enters the system. As a result, different emotional responses emerge simultaneously. One person feels anxious, another relieved, another confused. Some disengage, while others become energized. The conversation appears straightforward on the surface, yet its impact becomes unpredictable. Corporate teams rarely communicate under neutral conditions. Deadlines, budget constraints, performance evaluations, political dynamics, and accountability pressures are always present. As pressure increases, communication subtly compresses. Language becomes shorter, tone sharper, reflection thinner. Emotional bandwidth narrows. Cultural instincts intensify. Direct cultures grow more direct. Indirect cultures retreat further into implication. Multilingual speakers simplify. Native speakers accelerate. Under strain, diversity becomes harder to navigate precisely when clarity matters most. MC3 introduces stabilizing mechanisms designed for these fluctuating states. It anchors meaning when conversations drift, maintains direction when discussions fragment, buffers emotional escalation, regulates pace when teams outrun their own thinking, and prevents decisions from quietly dissolving once the meeting ends. These tools do not impose control, they create conditions in which control becomes possible. Power dynamics add another invisible layer. Expectations of leadership vary widely across cultures. Some teams expect leaders to decide, others to coordinate, others to listen, and others to speak decisively. Without recognizing these expectations, meetings distort. A leader who invites open input may encounter silence, not because ideas are absent, but because the question conflicts with the team's understanding of authority. Conversely, a leader who makes a decisive call may be perceived as autocratic by cultures that value consensus. MC3 helps leaders adjust their communication so authority clarifies rather than distorts meaning. Digital communication introduces further complexity. Email and messaging strip away tone, leaving recipients to infer emotional intent without auditory cues. Brevity may signal efficiency to some and rudeness to others. Politeness may appear vague. Direct requests may feel aggressive. Carefully balanced phrasing may be interpreted as indecision. Multilingual colleagues are forced to translate not only language, but emotional intent, often without sufficient information. MC3 reframes digital communication as an emotional task as much as a linguistic one. Meetings magnify these challenges. Interruption norms vary. Silence may signal reflection in one culture and disengagement in another. Some teams thrive on rapid exchange, while others expect structured turn-taking. Without intentional facilitation, multicultural meetings can feel chaotic, even when participants are aligned in purpose. Effective facilitation requires regulating pace, holding thematic threads, clarifying intention, and stabilizing emotional rhythm, precisely the conditions MC3 was designed to support. Many multilingual professionals operate in what might be called split expression. They think in one language but must articulate ideas in another. Their vocabulary may not reflect the depth or precision of their thinking. Hesitation is often misread as uncertainty, and simplification mistaken for lack of competence. Over time, this misinterpretation erodes influence. MC3 teaches teams to distinguish linguistic performance from cognitive ability, restoring accuracy to how competence is assessed. Corporate communication is also shaped by organizational memory. Past conflicts, failed projects, unspoken tensions, and unresolved misunderstandings quietly influence tone long after the events themselves have passed. Teams may react not to the present interaction, but to echoes of previous breakdowns. MC3 helps organizations recognize when communication is being shaped by history rather than current reality. Periods of transition amplify all of these dynamics. New leadership, strategic shifts, system changes, or multicultural expansion often destabilize communication before operational structures catch up. People sense uncertainty and become protective. Meaning becomes fragile. MC3 provides relational tools that allow teams to navigate transition without triggering systemic collapse. When misalignment occurs, repair becomes critical. Poorly handled repairs deepen mistrust. Well-handled repairs strengthen alignment. MC3 teaches professionals how to reset interactions without assigning blame and how to restore trust without reopening old wounds. Over time, corporate teams that adopt MC3 begin to function as emotionally intelligent systems. Meetings become calmer. Emails become clearer. Tension reduces. Global collaboration improves. Miscommunication shrinks. Productivity increases. Diversity shifts from friction to advantage. Corporate environments often assume communication failure is the result of individual behavior. MC3 reveals a deeper reality: communication failure is structural. When language, culture, hierarchy, stress, and identity collide, meaning bends. MC3 realigns it, not by fixing people, but by stabilizing the system that holds their interactions. This completes the industry snapshots. Each environment reveals a distinct dimension of multilingual, multicultural communication, and each demonstrates how MC3 protects meaning, preserves relationships, and sustains clarity under pressure. The final part of the book brings these strands together by reframing communication itself as a form of leadership. Case: the colleague who seemed uncooperative. A Dutch team lead working with a colleague in the UAE felt increasingly irritated. Every request had to be repeated. Every decision took longer than expected. Every yes felt softer than a yes. It wasn't resistance. It was hierarchy. Her colleague could not move without approval from a senior director who never joined the calls. He softened his yes because he wasn't allowed to commit firmly without that internal sign-off. Once she realized this, the dynamic shifted. She reframed decisions as options we can present internally rather than agreements we finalize now. The tension evaporated. The project accelerated. Corporate friction often comes from invisible chains of authority, not personalities. Scenario practice: the soft yes. When someone offers a too gentle yes, ask, what needs to happen internally before this is fully confirmed for you? You uncover the real decision maker. Reflection: every industry speaks its own emotional language. The settings may change: a hotel lobby in Barcelona, a retail counter in London, a classroom in Germany, a coaching session online, a hospital ward in Dublin, a corporate meeting in Dubai, but the emotional logic remains human. Every industry carries its own pressures, its own unwritten rules, own forms of politeness and silence. Some environments reward speed. Others reward precision. Some cultures protect harmony. Others protect honesty. And somewhere between these competing expectations, communication bends. The more you learn to interpret the emotional and cultural patterns in each environment, the more universal your skill becomes. You do not become an expert in hospitality or healthcare or corporate life. You become someone who sees people clearly and adapts with the kind of intelligence that transcends context.